Hi everybody. This
Hello,
is your
hello.
favorite support and 80 carry for the Floppy Fish friends doing a totally not biased review of the EGA versus Floppy Fish game that happened semi recently. How are
In
you doing,
fairness, I'm not
MSU?
even sure how anything is gonna happen. I haven't seen the gameplay before.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't not even sure if I remember what the result of the game is. Um, but I do know the two teams. I knew this is going to be. I think in the standings before this game, they're like either like 1-3, 1-2. So it's obviously a top tier matchup. So I'm really going to be curious to see who kind of takes the advantage all the way through. I expect it to be a close game all the way throughout, and would be really surprised if either team really ran away with it.
So it's because I can't go back and have us look just with how we're streaming this right now. I can't go back and look at the actual like how where they did the pick and bans, but
Uh huh.
just general thoughts. Looking at the two teams, who has the better team comp in your mind?
Well, looking at the two different ones, I think the bot lane is going to be in favor of EGA. I think that they are going to be able to keep up the pressure. The Dark Shield by Morgana is going to nullify essentially the bubble from Nami and the traps from Caitlyn, which is kind of the essentials of what they're trying to do bot lane. So I can see the advantage happening there. I think Dakushi on Ari mid lane will be just fine because they'll be able to dodge out a few of the knockbacks. Now, yes, obviously that kind of plays into Talia as well, but I think that'll play in Ari's favor to kind of pre-predict where things are at and kind of jump over her alt, so she won't get pinned down by that. The jungle matchup, I think, is going to kind of be a wash. I think it's going to be about back and forth. It's going to be about Hecarim's going to want to kind of get some early ganks happening. Echo's going to want to wait until 6 to really be able to do a whole lot. So I think that one's going to be more or less a wash, and kind of whoever can get going first. And I can't even see who is the top laner for EGA. So can you tell
Shen.
me who that is?
It's Shen.
Oh, Shen.
How can you
I
not
think
see
that's
that?
just I can't see in the upper right. Oh, I can see at the bottom of the screen. I'm blind. I think to be honest, it's just going to be a farm fest. I don't really expect a whole lot out of it. So um, they're just going to be sitting there, you know, punching each other, doing minimal damage, and
Hmm.
eventually late game they'll both be two big tanks that can do a lot for their teams.
I would
So,
say you got 4 out of 5 of those correct.
okay, what
So,
would you evaluate this as?
well, I mean, the problem is I was in this game, so I know exactly what happened, which is a
Okay,
problem.
fair enough.
Going into this, I definitely can say we were not expecting them to pick the Talia. I think Aniri's kind of pissed off that his coach made him go it. We were expecting a more dominant mid laner, and that was kind of the only surprise. We knew Starshow was going to play Echo just from him having like 20 games in the past like 2 weeks on Echo, and we knew he was going to go Dark Harvest as well instead of like Tank Echo. Um, so we kind of built around that, and we were going to go do an early invade on Starstro because we knew his jungle pathing, and we took the Hecarim and the strong bot lane as you'll see. So with all that in mind, let's get right into this game.
All right, here we go. This is my favorite part of the entire game. First
Watching him
15
spawn.
seconds.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Nobody can flash. Nobody can heal.
No, here we go.
This is interesting. They're actually stacking on the bot side to do an invade through the Tribush, I believe. And I think we did see this out, and we knew that they like stacking like this, and they'll either do it in the top Tribush, or they'll come through and do it in the bot Tribush. They've done this before, so
So it's just a classic 5 point out of Floppy Fish friends.
mhm.
Um, just taking a peek at everything, seeing what they're at. They're very, very defensive.
So it looks like
Um,
Floppy Fish is calling this out right about
yeah, this is
now.
correct. Absolutely. They've played it very well. Got damage on everybody, and the Morgana snare misses. So no harm, no foul. Looks like they're going to have to reset and go back to lane with just a little bit less damage. Or a little less health.
So this is kind of what starts a lot of the issues with the Floppy Fish friends early game. I'll let you guys watch it, but for the most part, because they invaded, Starshow started on the blue side, which is something he has literally never, ever, ever done before on Echo Jungle.
Well, so that's, I think, going to play definitely into Floppy Fish Friend's favor. So he's already having to adjust to see what his jungle pathing is going to be like. I think heading into this game, this is one of, like, maybe their second game, maybe third game at most, of them playing on the red side. So
no, this is their exact second game.
Oh, it's their
They've
second
only
game.
done
Okay.
in the league. They've only done one
In the
game,
league. Okay.
and the other one was against Careless Pandas, actually.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah.
so obviously, any of the film that was already on them from previous streams is going to be very limited to be able to take a look at things. So, obviously, we get to see in the bot lane, just trying to get all the farm. Kind of as predicted a little bit, Morgana and Zaya are kind of pushing him in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of get a little bit of poke off. Floppy Fish is doing a good job kind of trying to freeze it and kind of nullifying that push.
We do see Hecarim pushing up into the blue side jungle, but the interesting thing is Echo already cleared it because he decided to stay over here for his clear instead of just going straight towards red. So it looks like Floppy Fish's bot lane has to just take their losses and go back and enjoy this kind of screwed up wave of pressure.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a good rotation up from Hecarim, obviously having the knowledge that they were on that side. It was also good that the bot side moved on up. So just in case they couldn't see where the Echo was, or they were, if maybe he was getting their Gromp or something, they had a little bit of help there. But I think he'll come back a little more surprised getting that vision. I think that'll definitely play into when they go back and try to get the blue buff in the next 5 minutes or so from Echo.
Ooh, watch the feed, watch the feed.
Okay.
Keep your eyes on the Caitlyn.
Ooh.
And she's gone!
Well,
hey, it's a magic trick. She disappeared.
If I could hit the replay button, that would be wonderful, just to watch the health bar go down again and her essentially all
Hold
of her
on, here. We'll jump back a little bit. So here's basically what happened. Enjoyable Golem didn't respect the Q at all.
Oh. Well, I guess you can't do much about that when you're already rooted down once.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
On the right side, Caitlyn did hang on to the flash, so I was saying that she used both of them, so she kind of was like, well, I'm dead, so let's just hang on to what I can hang on to.
We do see the Echo. We do see the Echo invading to get blue on our side and then going top to see if he can apply some pressure, but Zaggy is playing a bit more of a defensive lane, so not going to see too much there. But we will be seeing some more feeding in the bot lane as Kelsey gets rooted for the second time, and poor Zaya gets another kill. Well, Morg got the first kill.
Well, unfortunately, this is kind of what they should have expected, I think, walking into the bot lane. Understanding that they don't have the advantage, and it looks like they tried to play a little overly aggressive. What a trade on the top side by Shen, heading into the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, the Zaggy going a little bit too aggressive there into the Shen, but the lucky thing for him is that Cho'Gath likes to farm up and gets mana and health from each minion that he kills.
And
so he's almost at full.
And with the corrupting potions, kind of the both combined, that's really going to help him out. Probably a little bit earlier back than he'd like, but I mean, the wave's going to push back towards the Shen, so not a bad idea. Shen's not going to be able to push this back in. Probably going to try and refreeze the wave and see if they can do something up, because they had Echo invade, so they do have vision into that river.
We do see a slight advantage going over to Dokushi in the mid lane against Aniri's Talia. Just a slight farm lead, but that is allowing them to get some more pressure in the jungle on the top side. If you see them getting,
trying to get the Raptors. And he smited away.
Talia is coming up from the bot lane. Oh, a charm on a nice charm in the Echo.
There we go.
Echo, go bye-bye.
Good job, Dokushi.
Gotta wait for the cooldowns of the charm before re-engaging onto the Talia, but a nice pick in the jungle between the mid laner and the jungle for Floppy Fish friends.
Very smart play there. Oh, Morgana steps on a trap. A little extra damage on the bot side. But that was really well done in that by the Raptors. Oh, here we go.
Ooh,
We're back
repeat
mid.
gank in the mid lane. That will burn out the flash from the Talia. Gonna be a nice, easy pick for the Ahri if we can keep getting that going for now.
That could be really costly as the game moves on. Obviously, Talia's already down in farm. She no longer has the pressure by the jungle. And now she's summonerless. Well, she does have her ignite, so I guess she could do a little extra damage, but from an escape standpoint, she will not have that for the next 4.5
We do
minutes
see
so.
some pings coming down from the Talia. Talia might look to roam bot lane, especially after having just hit 6 herself. And the bot lane for Floppy Fish. And we do see the wall coming up.
Talia's coming in.
Nami might have to flash here, and we do see the flash burn.
Yep.
Caitlyn uses the E flash to get
Probably
out.
have to flash, but that's probably okay. Respecting the damage that came out from last time, so understandable why that happened.
Oh no,
Nami,
Glasses Glare getting picked off by another QE combo from the Xayah.
Yeah, Nami not quite respecting the damage. I think that it would have been better for her to just kind of sit back and let the wave kind of come on in, especially knowing that Caitlyn was low as well.
Hecarim is sitting down there. Probably not going to see too much unless they completely overstay. He did cancel his back. Ahri is roaming down too, but she is going to be moving past a ward, so they might catch her out. And then we do see the warning pings coming down. We'll see if the bot lane backs out though. Uh-oh.
Caitlyn. Oh, here we go. And now Morgana decided to do the magic trick.
Yep.
And burnt the flash out, which
a
is
nice
good.
ult coming down from the Hecarim to be able to catch out the Xayah, but just barely getting out with their life. And we do see the lovely lethal tempo on Hecarim getting pops for some extra damage.
Well, every little bit of damage counts.
Yeah.
So Shen's going to use his TP going back to the top side. As kind of predicted, it's just a farm fest. It doesn't look like either one of them are staying on top of the farm very well, as they're both in the 50s at the almost 8.5 minute mark. So they've obviously been skirmishing quite a bit, which is limiting both of their farming ability. This is going to basically be a wash there. But if you notice back in the mid lane, let's see a Talia gang.
Ooh, and Neri might be trying to get on the Hecarim. She's trying to go for a really cheeky red right now, but Hecarim's going to try and burn her down as fast as he can. He does have the damage with a heal from the Nami, and he's going to get out with a nice little kill on the Neri.
What a play on that blast cone, though. I think that's the thing that saved the whole play right there, to be able to get rid of that blast cone without hitting anyone.
We do have a red ward coming down. So they know where the Hecarim's going after that. They know the timing.
All the BM in chat.
There wasn't even anything typed. Ooh, nice taunt on the Cho'Gath.
Yep,
probably not going to
get,
not going to get too much. Just going to be some grasp trading for the most part for the top side. Nice poke damage coming down from the Caitlyn. I think this Caitlyn has reaffirmed their footing in the lane to try and figure out how to deal with the Morgana Xayah lockdown that they have access to.
I think she's
Ina's sitting on the top
smarter.
side though, mirroring the Echo.
I think she's the bot side talking about Caitlyn. I think they're playing a little bit smarter, still a little bit behind in CS, but kind of just respecting the stun potential out of both players. Obviously, you got to do Morgana, but
ooh, nice roam on the top lane. Aniri does get a charm down on him. Dokushi nice picking up the kill on Aniri.
Can they pinch it up? Oh,
Echo's getting a little off. Ult getting blown here. Shen coming in, and Shen's probably going to get picked off here with a charm and a knockout coming down from the Cho and the Ahri. Hecarim picking up the kill on that one.
Kill. Are they going to lead right back into the Rift Herald? That was really well done. They were able to come in and collapse. Probably some good communication. I saw some pings coming on in, just allowing them to kind of focus their target. The Cho'Gath ult, that does quite a bit of damage. So not only was he able to get the kill off that, but also the flash came out of Shen. So that will not be up for a while as well. So a lot of things going really, really well for Floppy Fish friends on basically the whole top half.
Great objective control for the side of Dire on that Hecarim. I mean, of all the objectives that you want to get right now, especially with bot lane going as even as it has been, you want to take that Rift Herald and you want to go mid, you want to go top lane, especially maybe the Ahri, and push out the lane as hard as you can to help apply that pressure that that champion has built up from the kills to be able to take that somewhere else on the map, especially with how much this Taliyah is trying to roam around either in the river to the bot lane and trying to pick up those kills with her ult.
It almost looks like Taliyah's like trying to force too much. Like you said, she's been roaming a ton, so she's trying to force as much as she can get, which this actually looks to be a pretty good startup on the Dragon. Having a bunch of vision down here, they already have the priority both in mid and on the bot side, so this is a really good Dragon take from them if they can take it.
It is just a water drake, but it does help for the Taliyah and the Xayah with being able to just stay in those lanes and keep farming up if they want to have a chance of bringing that KDA percentage back to normalcy.
And here we go, we got another slap fight in the top side. They both did a little bit of damage, but they're both going to regen it. There's nothing, no kill potentials out of either one of them quite yet in the game. I'd be curious to see where they're trying and use that Rift Herald. I would anticipate them probably trying to use it on the top side with maybe like a roam from the mid lane. So kind of a 3-man top side to kind of get Shen pushed back. Or if they can somehow get a fight in the mid lane to be able to drop it. I wouldn't anticipate on the bottom side simply because they don't have the advantage there at all. I mean, if you look at the CS difference, I mean, Caitlyn's down by 20 at the 12-minute mark.
Ahri did decide to shove out her lane and came bot lane, just rotating bot lane, just looking for anything that she can get in terms of maybe getting the Caitlyn back online, getting some more kills for herself. But we do see Taliyah pinging out missing with the Echo, wondering where this Hecarim is in the river since they did spot him on a ward.
Well, here we go. So Echo's coming on up for the gank, and looks like bot lane's in trouble as well. So we got both going on right now. Cho'Gath is up in the top side. Is he getting burned down? He uses flash. Can he get away from this? Camera's back in the bot side. It looks like Cho'Gath is... Oh, what a play!
Cho'Gath does get away with it just with the barely points of the list. Oh, but the Ahri is here to clean up all the rest of the kills. Waiting for the charm, and Taliyah goes completely wide on the minions, but they might be able to still finish this one off.
They're going to push that wave, and
I would expect them to...
Rift Herald to be
there we go. There's the Rift Herald coming down for them to be able to push this lane out even more. Iniri might have to get out of here.
What's the phrase? Gutsy, ballsy, whatever you want to say here.
Stupid?
Dropping that Rift Herald right in the middle of lane. But all that money, all that gold, going on over to the side of Floppy Fish friends. Going to be able to get, hopefully, that first
knock up on the Iniri.
Oh.
And that's why you can't overstay. You got, not only are they, I mean, they're pushing.
Survive?
I think he does.
I think he had like 10 HP. But that was a really well-played turnaround on the side of Floppy Fish friends. What's going to happen here? We have Echo roaming back in.
Starstar looking for something with the Shen ult being popped on him, but he's going to have to burn the ult just to survive. Zaggy might be going down here. Oh no, that's a 1 kill, and that might be a second. It's a double kill for the Echo.
Well, that's exactly what you needed on the side of EGA. If you're going to try to get, at least you got something back from this. Even though you did get up top turret, a couple, 3 kills, I think it was. They were able to return 2 of those kills back. The downside, they had to use flash and a couple of ultimates, but ultimately, that's a really good trade on the side of EGA, and they're going to also get the bot turret here. So
yeah, they were able to pressure. They were able to pressure off the bot lane for the most part. They're just going to shove this wave back in again and probably pick this up quite shortly. The Rift Herald being used top was a fine play all in all, but I think they could have just backed in a safer location, especially if they knew, you know, the Shen ult was still up and it could be used on whoever they wanted to engage with. So it ended up being kind of a rough spot since the Hecarim could literally do nothing, and the Hecarim is the strongest one on the team right now. You know, he's a 5-0-2. He's the one who's most of the damage, most of the tanking.
I would absolutely agree. I think it was just a little bit of, I don't know if it was a little bit of greediness, not showing who, well, they'd have the vision where they needed to have the vision. After using that rift, they would have just kind of, after taking the turret, got the couple kills. If they just kind of fall back to their own turret, none of that happens, and they can reevaluate and go back and get items and keep pushing their advantage. So So now we can see towards this bot side, they're going to be starting to fight around this Drake. Let's see, do we have a Drake timer up yet? Not quite yet.
We do. It's on the right.
Oh,
it's 58 seconds, but we do have a pick on the Neri. Neri burns ult trying to just get away from it, but no cigars here. Dyer has a nice pick on the side lane, and the Echo has to burn his ult. Might see a Hecarim ult coming out. And we do, catching out the Echo on the other side of that wall. Love it.
I think EGA has got to find a way to somehow gain back vision control. They don't really have a whole lot of wards anywhere. If we look in their inventories, Morgana is the only one with a pink ward, and nobody has it on the side of Floppy Fish. I'm going to hold on that as they're trying to skirmish mid lane.
No, just some poke damage on the Shen as he comes TPing right behind the turret. Prime spot for a Caitlyn trap, if I do say so myself.
Well, it certainly hits almost 100% guaranteed to land.
Unless they flash.
That's very true.
Only you would know something about that, huh?
Yes, I tend to do that quite a bit. Not necessarily TP, but just flash over random things for no reason.
Because it's flashy.
That was clever. Well done.
That was a great joke, I know.
If I had a cap on, I would tip it, but since I don't, sorry.
That's a big Cho'Gath right now. I don't know if they want to engage on that quite yet. They don't have everyone there, and Neri is sitting up in the top lane, trying to get down there as best he can with the passive, and Shen is still sitting in the bot lane. Shen is waiting for his ult, you know, before they
I really like what
engage.
Ari's doing, kind of keeping that advantage on the mid side.
Uh-oh.
So not only it's kind of splitting up. Here we go.
Very deep dive from Dyer. Dyer going for the complete backline. He does get picked off. Echo diving for the Nami. Nami does go down.
A
nice return kill on the Echo.
Can they turn this around? Here we go. He's going to just run away, I think. We'll disengage this fight, and when it's all said and done, it's a 2 for 2, 2 for 1 in favor of EGA.
Yeah, for the most part, that was a pretty even trade. At least Floppy Fish did pick up the kill in the jungle, so it's a little bit more risky going for the dragon, but it looks like they're still going to group up here and take that objective. This is 2 water drakes, they're quality drakes, so not really too much pressure gained from this objective, but it is something to at least show some force about, you know? So the fact that they've gotten the last drag and, well, they ended up not taking that one entirely. My bad, because I don't even know why they wouldn't go for that one. Uh-oh. Zai's back in a very interesting spot. Might be an easy pick.
Nice poke there. I think he's going to just back off, be able to go underneath turret. I think it was a gutsy call there to try to back where he was at.
Yeah.
But definitely going back to like the advantage of the different water drakes, if they were to get their second one, on the side of Floppy Fish, friends, they have a ton of just overall like burst damage. So if they can get past an initial burst, they can kind of sit back and regen that health pretty quickly. So that would be really helpful for them if they can somehow get through that initial burst.
You know, it's looking at the comp now, it's a huge pick comp, you know, between the Hecarim, the Ahri, the Caitlyn, and even with the knockup and silence from the Cho, I mean, like, if they want to engage on somebody, they will engage on that person, and they will most likely succeed.
Just kind of trying to reestablish vision around this Drake, kind of see what they can pick off. Caitlyn's range is absurd. Caitlyn
does get picked by the Q. Echo might go in here. He does. He wants to try and get the shield, but everything pours down on the Echo with fire. Oh
play.
No, a double knockup on the side of EGA.
Hecarim dives in the back line, pushing them all back. Hecarim's going to go ahead and will he get that kill up on...
Well, he's stuck in the wall!
What happened there?
He got stuck in the Talia wall!
Well, I don't think that's supposed to happen, but that did just happen. And this will be a free Drake for the side of Floppy Fish, friends, after also picking up 3 kills. 3 kills and a Drake, pushing this gold lead to just over 3,000. 3,000? 2,000. 3,000. 2,000.
You know, I think that Hecarim needs to get reshoed.
Like, I'm not sure what happened there.
You know, that horsey lost his footing.
Yeah. He was missing his lucky charm.
You mean a horseshoe?
Yeah, exactly. They're magically delicious. I too can come up with some terrible puns.
Well, EGA sitting on the top side, just clearing out the jungle, getting vision on the Baron to possibly prevent that if they do want to try and transition over to that objective. She didn't steal the blue buff, you jerk. So we do see EGA kind of prepping themselves for the Baron, and Floppy Fish did reset after picking up a lot of those kills, you know, just wanting to go back and get gold, get vision. Dokushi actually picking up two red wards. Uh-oh, Cho'Gath getting picked here with 3 people in the bush.
Well,
you know what they say?
He is a Cho'Gath.
1 void in the bush, 3 birds in the hand. Echo going a little bit overextension here to try and get a pick on the Ahri. Shen ult coming down just to keep him alive. Shen going for a flash taunt under turret, though, of all places. And he's going to get killed for it.
Team back. And they're probably just going to disengage off of this. But overall, it was a good initial fight from EGA. Good recovery on the side of Floppy Fish friends. And then EGA kind of re-establishing dominance in that particular fight. To be able to escape with the advantage there.
Yeah, a lot of resources here burned, though, for the side of EGA, but it was both tanks from the top lane going down for that fight. We do see Caitlyn rotating up the mid lane to take the turret, while all 4 take their time trying to pick up the objective in the top lane, and it does look like they're going to trade turrets. I don't know about you, but I don't think that's a good trade in the slightest.
No, 9 times out of 10, and the only other time is when we're going for Baron. Is it a good idea to swap and trade the outer turret for the inner turret?
The outer top turret, of all things, too.
Yeah.
We do see Dire going for a nice engage on the Xayah. Xayah burns ult to get out of it. Q comes down in the Hecarim, keeping him paused for now.
Well,
and we're not going to see too much else.
After all those stuns and snares.
That's an important spell, though. Xayah's ult has a decently long cooldown for the most part, and I mean that is what makes her such a prominent pick right now, is having that ult for disengage. So we might be seeing her go down the next fight if Floppy Fish is able to target her out and make her a priority.
One thing to note too is as we're looking at the different stats, is there a way to change what the gold is for each player down at the bottom? If you notice that the bot lane in particular, I mean, their Xayah is up by almost 2,000 gold. That's almost a full item. And then you look towards the middle and the top side, you can kind of see where it flips. Top side, even though Cho'Gath is down by 40 some farm. Oh, I'm gonna hold on for this.
Xayah's getting targeted, as I mentioned, but Echo might find himself on the receiving end of all that damage.
That's a fast Cho'Gath.
Just a righteous glory, you know, Cho'Gath coming at you. Nothing to be alarmed about.
But as you've stated, obviously Hecarim is the strongest player, and you can see that in the gold differential, as he's the only one in the 10k range, 2.5, almost 3,000 above the Echo. So I think if you're gonna have to do or gain some sort of advantage, they're gonna have to. EGA is gonna have to find a way to shut down that Hecarim.
You know, when it comes to Hecarim, the best idea is to just wait for the Hecarim to engage, and then either at least segregate them to the people that you don't mind getting picked. Morgana might have to go down here for her troubles.
Well, this is exactly the scenario for him. They went in on Morgana.
Yep, Hecarim burning his ult defensively. Ahri going for a pick on the Xayah. Shen ult coming down just to keep her alive. Caitlyn damage coming down. But we do see a giant dinosaur in the back. A lot of low health bars here. Nobody protecting the Caitlyn right now, though.
Good focus on the side of Floppy Fish, friends. We have Neri coming on back in with the trade kill. We have the different splits off. They're going to kind of run for their life and kind of give up the kill there. I don't know why Talia came back on in. Almost a good pick by Ahri. Cho'Gath is still up there. Oh, the double bubble. And that kind of baited them into this play. A double kill off on Xayah, and we'll see if anything else will be picked up here as they continue to chase him down.
Floppy Fish didn't have the cooldowns to do anything like that, you know? Like, the Cho'Gath gets kited if he doesn't have anything, if he doesn't have his righteous glory, and they still kept pushing forward, hoping to get any sort of advantage off the back end, but EGA somehow comes out the victor because of it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Are you okay? But I think Xayah's gonna clean this up though.
Yep. That movement speed buff from the W on the Xayah is pretty insane, and this is a Fire Drake being pressured. They might not be able to pick it up though, because Dokushi is sitting on the side with the Ahri. Charm goes wide, Gonna try and get some damage down on the altless Xayah. And the Infernal does get dropped down by Starstro. Really well played there. And an Infernal over to EGA because of it.
Wow, what a lot happened in the past minute and a half or so. But going all the way back, we were talking with the Hecarim and kind of trying to figure out a way for EGA if they wanted to come back into it. The gold differential is now just over 1,000 or so, off the basically 2 good fights from the side of EGA.
That's a big Xayah.
It is a big Xayah. If you look at the right there, the gold is essentially now even with the Hecarim. And you just mentioned the best way to deal with Hecarim is for Hecarim to go on into the target or into the team, going on generally on someone you don't mind if they died. And he burnt everything trying to get in there, so they could burst him down pretty good. A lot of cooldowns burst used early on in the fight by Floppy Fish, and that way later on in the fight they didn't have what they needed.
Yeah, the last fight by Baron on the side of Floppy Fish was very uncoordinated. I don't know if you were able to watch that, but you know, there's the backline is trying to do as much as they can on the left side of the river, and then the rest of the front line for Floppy Fish, you know, they engaged the peel was focusing down the tank, you know, so with how the damage kind of chalks up, you don't want all of that front line trying to focus the Shen. You would rather have them focusing the squishies while the squishy helps with them, unless the engage gets too close. And in that scenario, the engage wasn't even close to the front line of their back line, you know, in that regard. So they kind of found themselves in a rough position, and, you know, they got to correct that next time. And it does not help that Hecarim had to burn his ult to get out of the team fight early. You know, he had a weird early engage. Dokushi getting engaged on here, though. By Starstro. Oh my goodness, that damage.
He's going to use his ult to try and get away. Can they turn this fight around? We have Hecarim coming on in. Anami, which didn't hit anybody, but it forced them all into the area. Talia wall kind of helped funnel them all into that same area. We have Takuchi doing lots of damage on the backside. Then we got the Talia getting picked off here. We have Hecarim still diving in the backline, and they just rolled over them.
That's gonna be a 5-for-0 right there, and they're looking to pick up the Baron right after a play like that. All of the pieces fell into the line. Everything that I mentioned about the last team fight went perfectly right there. You know, we just saw damage getting poured in on the back line. The entirety of Floppy Fish was able to reorient themselves with EGA in that line of fire, especially from the Caitlyn being able to throw traps in the bush and kind of throw them off guard. Honestly, the entire fight happened around that one bush, and from both perspectives, it looks like there was no vision going on in there. So it's just tough to see when you're bouncing in and out of that bush to know, oh, okay, this is a safe spot, this isn't a safe spot. But, you know, a lot of cooldowns blown, trying to just escape the fight. Like the Talia wall could have been used a little better.
Well, the Talia wall almost didn't really work at all, simply because Anami had already used her ult, funneled them into that area. Then the Talia wall comes in, and now they're like really squished against that wall.
Yep.
But even kind of seeing the comparison between the one fight that went EGA's way and now this fight that went very handily into the side of Floppy Fish, Floppy Fish kind of went in as a team. It was much less disorganized, kind of scrambled, trying to figure out what was going on. And this one was very much like, well, we're going to go in here, and now we got 4 guys. You walk in with your tank. Then once you walk in with your tank, you have your guy, your Hecarim, to be able to dive into the back line. And if things go down, you also have everybody else. So essentially, you have like a 5e and then a trickle on their side. Yes, there was 5 members of EGA in the area, but they all 5 couldn't be doing everything at the same time, unlike what Floppy Fish did, and they could kind of keep picking up target one by one. And that would just be important, I think, for the side of Floppy Fish to maybe not focus so much on the kills, even though they're up in a ratio of 2 to 1 to EGA in kills, and kind of focus on the objectives. They have Baron to be able to push. We have Dragon coming up in under a minute. But if they can kind of get some sort of like a split push, either like a 1-3-1, you know, a 4-1, something to be able to kind of keep this pressure, objective pressure on the map, in order to kind of keep their advantage where it's at. Because I feel like if they can't keep this rolling, EGA is a team that, I mean, they're #1 in our league for a reason. They've had bad early games, and they've been able to turn it around before in a series of, you know, 1 or 2 good team fights. And right now it's the 30-minute mark, so the death timers are getting longer and longer.
You know, even though there is double the kills on the side of Floppy Fish, the gold difference isn't as much as you know, most people would expect it to be. Infernal Drake is spawning now, though, so this will be an amazing objective if Floppy Fish can pick this up and kind of even out the difference in damage. Cho'Gath is sitting on the front line, just trying to zone out the rest of EGA. Stun possibility coming in for Starstro on the back line, but he's not going to try and dive for it, and that's going to be a free Infernal Drake going in for Floppy Fish.
Absolutely, and honestly, I have to respect the decision by EGA. They understand that they are behind. They're low in gold. They don't have any vision. So I think that was a very respectable attempt to get there, and also understanding that that if they really couldn't get anything by the Shen going in, that they just needed to back out and give that up, because if they would have tried going for it, they would have given up Dragon plus quite a few kills. So I think that was a good decision there. I like the siege potential starting up here on the bot side.
A lot of fancy footwork coming around here now if they want to try and do this safely. They do have the Baron, so they want to keep that cannon minion going as much as possible. So a few really good traps just kind of zoning out the rest of EGA from able to step in front of their turret. Yeah, neither top laners are there, so it's a whole bunch of squishies.
So it's really a clear favorite on the side of Floppy Fish, because not only do they not have a tank on either side, they also can't do anything in the mid side because Floppy's going to have the Baron empowered minions to kind of keep pushing in there. So they're eventually going to have to either pull back. Oh, we can see Hecarim trying to look for a flank on the side when this turret goes down. And here he comes on in. Good Zonia's on the case Morgana with her ult. Stuns down the Hecarim. Able to get the kill off from Ahri.
Oh, but the dinosaur's here. Dinosaur's in the back line.
He's soaking up all the damage. He's able to pop the stone plate. He is just like, I don't really care about He's like, I need a little help from the backline. The backline couldn't quite get there with the Taliyah.
There was a Taliyah wall right there. Yeah.
So that was really well done. Cho'Gath is like, I need damage, and there wasn't any. But that wasn't necessarily anyone's fault other than Taliyah, who did exactly what her team needed for her. Oh, flash taunt just missed.
Good sidestep from the Caitlyn. Caitlyn trying to kite back as fast as he can. A bubble come down just to zone off the Xayah. Xayah dodged out. Echo's going to try and engage on the Echo. Gets popped by Caitlyn. Fish might go down here to the Taliyah. Rock's going to kill the fish. That's not something you see in rock, paper, scissors all the time.
No, you don't normally have those options.
No, typically not. Unless it's Baby Shark.
Not normally an option.
Do. Hecarim sitting up here on the top line probably wants to catch out the Carter. Well, gets a lot of damage down, but he's going to get rooted up. Hecarim ult getting burned for nothing.
What an outplay. And the BM afterwards. I mean, I guess you can back that up.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not so much BM.
So a little bit of context. I told Dyer not to do that, and he stuck around anyways to do that, and he dies for it.
Well, it was a risk-reward scenario. I mean, if he was able to get that kill, he would have shut down on the on Xayah, getting literally the strongest person from EGA down. Unfortunately, it flips it around, and they were able to kill the strongest member of Floppy Fish.
Yep, Baron is going to spawn in another 20, though. So possibly just going to see some ward clearing for now. Just trying to keep each other safe. And everybody is back up. Shen is in the bot lane, but he does have TP available to him if he wants to go for it. A nice charm come down on the Xayah. Xayah's going to get popped like a balloon. Morgana's going to go down shortly after, but a nice little golden moment from both.
Zonia's for Zonia's. We have a ginormous Cho'Gath occupying the entirety of the jungle, it looks like.
Yep.
That was a really good Nami ult to be able to push everybody on back, and it looks like the focus on the side of Floppy Fish is going to be starting up this Baron. They have 5 members. Unfortunately, the EG only has 3. But we could see a potential Echo Baron steal. That is definitely a potential.
Ah, but you're forgetting the Cho'Gath ult.
That is true. But if you're able to get some sort of a stun on the Cho'Gath, that's kind of their only chance to be able to get it. If you're able to stun down the Cho'Gath, so they can't actually use ult.
Nom. Cho'Gath smite. Really well done.
Good attempt on the side of EGA. They did exactly what they had to do, and they got out-nommed.
Wouldn't you be surprised to know that Aniri blames this loss on his captain making him pick Taliyah? Would anybody be surprised about that?
I mean, in the league, he's played Vlad. And in the other games, he's also played Vlad. So if you can, I don't know, eliminate the Vlad, maybe
That's
there's
a
chance
big
for other
choke.
individuals. You can
big
still kind of
freaking
see
choke.
where the health bars are
You
supposed to
can.
be.
You can.
Barely.
Floppy Fish is
Microstone's
roaming down
lighting
to
it up.
pick up the Elder Drake. That's going to be a nice bonus with them, especially since they at least have one Infernal. And this is probably going to be a pretty easy objective going over to them right now.
Yeah, I mean, they have vision all throughout the East Jungle. There is nobody even coming close on the side of EGA. This is going to come down. It's way too late for them to even try. Now, not only do they have the Baron, they also have the Elder Drake to be able to help hopefully close this out. If you're Floppy Fish friends, if you're EGA, your only chance from here is to stall. I'm not exactly sure where you're going to be able to stall, but pushing out lanes right now while Floppy Fish is backing. Maybe trying to funnel resources into your Xayah or into your Echo for some burst damage somewhere. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that's tough all across the board. I mean, like, just with how recent events have kind of gone down, Caitlyn is now at just as much of a power spike in items as the Xayah. Xayah does have a slight advantage at the moment, but compared to the rest of the team, you know, the Ahri is up by an item, it looks like. The Hecarim is at full build right now, where Echo still has 2 more items to finish off. You know, the Cho'Gath is an item ahead. Like, yes, the AD carry difference is still there between the Xayah and the Caitlyn, but my goodness, is it everywhere else for the side of Floppy Fish, and that is what they're utilizing right now. Like, the strong engage is coming down, especially with the pick coming down from the Ahri before the Baron last time. The zone coming off from the giant dinosaur right now, like, that is what makes their team so strong. Starstroke going a little deep here to try and get a pick. I don't know why.
Floppy is doing a really good job. They've split the whole map, so it looks like Ahri might go down, unless he can turn it around. And she didn't turn it around.
That's a lot of ulting.
But if you notice, even up to that, it was, I mean, they were split. There's 3 in the top lane, there's Ahri in the mid lane, and Hecarim's currently wailing on the inhib turret. Just got the inhib turret. And Hecarim comes out into the mid lane. And this looks like it might be the end of EGA. A flash burned out by Morgana. They're just going to have to try and slow him down at all. Oh, here comes the Cho'Gath. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, can't really prevent the true damage from a Cho'Gath. That's a tough one to dodge out, especially since it's instantaneous for the Xayah, so not really a hit marker for it.
And they're coming in on the inhib, or the Nexus turrets. Both of them are down. Can a miracle happen? I guess it could, but I don't see it happening.
Nope.
Ooh, almost got that last kill at the very end, but I mean, I don't know about you. Well, maybe you do know because you played in it, but walking
I'm
into
feeling
this
22.
game, thanks to Swift. Always needed that reaffirmance. I mean, that game lived up to the hype. I really think so. It was in favor of EGA early on, which I kind of had expected. They couldn't translate that very well into a mid-game, but then as the mid-game kind of kept going, they kind of lost their grip on a few different things, and that slowly led to them not getting any of the Barons throughout the game. They should have probably got 3 of the 4 dragons that happened throughout the game, or at least tried to force those a little bit earlier on in the game while they had that advantage. But since they didn't, I mean, both teams got a water and a fire. So, I mean, it was even from that standpoint. So there was no real advantage by getting the dragons for either team. Now, obviously, the Elder Drake, different story. But before you get to that point, and I think you just have to look at the jungle matchup. If you look at Hecarim, I mean, he finished 10, 3, and 12. And you look over at Echo, and he went 3, 11, and 4. I mean, that's a lot of deaths for a guy who literally just before he dies can hit his ult and jump back somewhere.
Yeah, well, you know, the Hecarim was able to pick him off a ton. And you got to remember, Hecarim is still tanky, yet does so much damage, especially when he's ahead. And that Echo was going straight damage. I mean, like, he even took Dark Harvest as his rune. So anytime they met in the jungle after Dire got that lead on the Hecarim, it was going towards the Hecarim in his favor. You know, looking at the two supports, you know, you can see a lot of how the team fights ended up with the assists. with Glasses Glare sitting at a 19 for assists and Scottlar with only a 9. I mean, with how much you should be seeing the Morgana involved with either just with W, and being able to at least put some procs on people, to see that much of a difference between the two supports, it's kind of a telltale for how much of a snowball the rest of the team just was able to get in those team fights. Sure, bot lane got ahead in the early game, but it doesn't really matter if you can't play out the rest of the game well.
No, and I mean this loss. I don't think you can attribute that to the bot lane, because Zaya was definitely pulling her weight and then a little bit more. The unfortunate side is kind of re-mentioning that the jungler, died 11 times. Yes, I understand that they were dealing straight damage, but at the same time, and that's 11 deaths. You have Aniri in the mid lane, who is probably one of the best mid laners that we're going to see in the entire league. He still died 7 times. Yes, he got 5 kills off of that, but he wasn't dominant on the farm side of things. He wasn't able to kind of keep control of his lane, which I thought he might have a tough time with, but he's also only level 15. If you notice on the side of Floppy Fish, their support was level 15.
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to get the resources, the experience that he needed, and just kind of couldn't kind of snowball that game, because they kind of funnel a lot into him. I think their bot lane did a really good job. Aniri tried to hold his own, but ultimately it came down to the top half of Floppy Fish, through their mid lane, their jungler, and their top lane, kind of getting a couple of key picks early on in the game, and kind of getting the game snowballed to kind of start focusing towards them.
Yeah, sadly, EGA tried to focus at the bot lane in the early game, and it just didn't go in their advantage. Like, they just couldn't get it snowballing enough to be able to leverage the rest of that advantage that Floppy Fish was building with the top, with the jungle, with the mid. So, with that all being said, it was plenty enough of a front line, especially with the damage coming down from Dokushi on the Ahri. I mean, 10-2 and 11, that's nothing to scoff at as an end result for that champ.
No.
And that's all they needed to win those team fights. But I enjoyed spectating the game. I'll throw this up on YouTube when I get the chance. Be able to share that with the rest of the league. I know a lot of people were interested in possibly seeing this game, especially with it being between, I would contend, the two front runners for the rest of how this league's going to play out. So happy to be able to get this video up as soon as I can. I don't mind streaming with my good support friend as of the last 5-6 years of playing together.
I think so. I think we essentially joined League together back in Season 4 when DFG was still around, and we had the old map. That was the big thing they were talking about.
And Bjergsen was a new player.
Yep, Bjergsen. Yep, he had just come on over from Europe. Oh, man.
He was the top of the town.
TSM was good. I mean, there you go.
Back when split pushing was all you did?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of changes since Season 4, but absolutely, it's been a ton of fun to not only get to play with you, but hey, we have tried something new, and it was good to see this game from EGA and Floppy Fish. It was just, I think it lived up to the hype. It wasn't a blowout in either direction.
Yes, it was.
And the game lasted almost 40 minutes, so it was a very convincing win, but it wasn't a blowout.
So just telling everybody, guys, look at the bans. We banned the Vlad. We banned the Akali. That's it. That's all you need. And they crumble. Aniri crumbles. So I'm very surprised. Yeah, I'm very surprised that other teams aren't doing this. This is the OP picker ban for our league. I hope you guys take that as a takeaway. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you sticking around. This is Enjoyable Golem and MSU for Life. Goodbye.